Very fortunate this morning to have a couple of four-wheel drive and leisure travel legends with us. We've got Adam Kir Craze.
Jesus, mate, you're talking about
of no set address these days. So yeah, they're on the road. They're currently in southeast Queensland at the moment, just preparing for another stage of their journey. So you guys basically decided to pull a pin on work.
Yeah, mate.
Pack up.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a lot of years, and you know, we've been in the industry and setting up everyone else's cars and things to go and do what we've always dreamed of doing. So we had a chat and made a decision, and pulled the pin.
We're off.
Packed the house up, and happy days.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, but like, you're no stranger to touring and travelling, so you've been around a long time doing it.
Yep.
On shorter trips, you know, like off work for, what was the longest trip you'd been on prior to this one?
Probably the Kimberley trip. So we did our first trip to the Kimberley back in 2014. So we took about 3.5, 4 months off, and that's probably what really lit the fuse for us doing this now, because we went out there and we were a bit surprised that there were more people like us or people with young families who were travelling. There were less grey nomads than I thought there would be. And it just made me think, well, why wait, do you know what I mean, until such time as you can't actually do everything that this country has to offer. And so
especially when you're marching up Kings Canyon or something like that, you don't want to do that when you're old.
No,
you
that's
want to do
right.
that when you're still capable, and there's so much, you know, walking and hiking and to go and see and do that. You want to be able to fit and able to do that.
So that's when you're out touring and then travelling, you don't mind the hikes and the bush and getting out on foot?
No, definitely.
Yeah, and there are some places that's the only way you can do it. Like, you can't get a quad out there or a bike or you know, a Land Cruiser or anything like that. So
we're very big on, you know, we try not to have too much of a plan of we must be there and we must be there. It's sort of what's down that road, what's on that track, or we'll see a mountain range beside the road, probably a K out, and we'll go walk out there and see what's out there and just explore.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, and that's probably what makes this trip a bit better now, because you've no set time.
That's exactly it.
No timeline, no set time.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to have to, you know, take 6 months off and then rush, or take a year off and rush back to work. We really just wanted to absorb it all, didn't we?
Yeah.
It sounds like a best way to do it. So you packed up Victoria, rented the house out, loaded the gear, and headed to the Kimberley.
So first stop. So in saying we didn't have a timeline, the only thing we had to do was go to the Kimberleys. First part. We'd planned this for a long time, to have a holiday with some mates, Brian and Penny.
Yeah.
We talked about it forever. We've done some filming with them, and it was just time to have a holiday.
Great.
So we had to be in the Kimberleys on a certain date.
Right.
Just after the wet, we had a couple other people to meet up with. So it was leave Melbourne, bring way too much stuff.
Yes.
And we transited through Brisbane, so we had to cross some borders pretty quickly. And straight to Wyndham.
Yeah, I've seen, look, I haven't seen all the footage, and I can't wait to see more of it, but I've looked at some of the tracks you've just completed and toured through the Kimberley. You tell us a bit about some of them. Like, I've seen the Wimby track there. That looked unbelievable.
So the Wimby was probably where we spent most of our time. We're fortunate enough to know the traditional owners up there, and we were basically doing some volunteer work for them. They had something that they wanted open to extend their tag-along tours. So Ronnie runs Just Over the Hills tag-alongs.
Sure.
So we've done the track with him a couple of times, and we've done it by ourselves. So he wanted to extend it, so that's where we spent our time on the Wimby track, and it's something special. It's an amazing track. So part of the tour was they wanted to expand out to King George Falls. So the only way to get there normally is by boat or helicopter.
Right.
So we've set up a camp out there now. So we spent a lot of time going through virgin country, making a track out there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that is adventure.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
So tell me about that place that really grabbed you. What grabs you about that?
King George Falls, the country is just so magnificent. Like, getting in touch with the land itself is something that you have to really experience it to understand it. It almost like grabs you by the shoulders and plants you into it.
Wow.
So the it is completely untouched. So there's no 7-Eleven out there, obviously, or anything like that, you know. So it is just absolutely beautiful country. And the incredible thing is, because so few people go out there, the wildlife that you see is incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And just the culture, Mick.
Yeah.
You know, we're fortunate enough to know the traditional owners and be accepted into their area and their land, and they allow us to do, you know, a bit of free roaming and things like that because we're out there helping them, but just accepted into their culture, and then they start sharing as well, and just getting a better understanding of, you know, their lifestyle. And, you know, we'll be driving past and they go, oh, there's food there, there's that, and oh, that's medicine. So just learning about bush tucker and things like that. And
amazing how they have survived.
Oh, just how you find everything. And, it just changes everything. It changes how you look at it. And so we spent most of the time on the Wimby track, and it's just probably one of the hardest, most remote tracks in Australia.
Wow.
It's just untouched. It's only tag-along tour only. Yep. And it's an adventure.
Slow going?
Slow going.
Yeah. We're averaging 2 kilometres a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, now that is full on.
Yeah.
So Kerr got thrown in the deep end. So Brian and I were on quads. So we rode basically from Wyndham back to Wyndham on quads, and Kerr and Penny had to drive the cruises the whole way.
Saw some of the footage, Kerr, you in there, and some pretty gnarly stuff too. Tell us about that. Were you nervous on some of that pretty hard going gear?
Yeah.
Obviously four-wheel drive before. You've obviously done plenty of four-wheel driving, but that, what I saw, the actually camera angle probably didn't do it justice on that one piece where you were heading up that ridge.
Yeah, it's a big change being a driver versus being a passenger, which is how it normally goes. But that track has got sand, it's got mud, it's got rock climbing, it's got water crossings, has everything. And so probably not so much scared, but excited because I learnt so much, Mick. Do you know what I mean? Because I was thrown in to do it. Like Adam's saying to me on the way up, "Are you absolutely sure you're up for this? Do you really want to do it?" And I'm like, yeah. That'd be amazing. And so to actually be in it and learn it, and learn some new driving skills, like, you know, Queenslanders, so I spent so much time on Fraser Island, and you know, so sand's my home plate type thing. But then to understand using different gears to climb, you know, serious escarpments and that kind of stuff is just really incredible.
There's no better teacher than experience, is there?
Absolutely.
You know, and then you do that first hard one, the next one you go, okay, well now I know low range, first gear, poke long, idle. So
it's so true. You know, it's so true. Like that, just particularly what you're talking about with the gearing. So there was a sand blow to climb up after a river crossing. And I was in first gear, low range, and I just ran out of legs. Like I just couldn't get up over the top. And Ads comes over to the UHFs and says, "Are you in second gear?" And I'm like, "No." He said, "Do it in second gear. You won't run out of juice." And absolutely true. Straight up over the top of the sand blow. But then on the rock climbing, no way in the world can you do it second gear, low range. It's not enough. You need to let the cruiser do the work, first gear, low range. And just the amazing thing was how much that Land Cruiser can do with not much help from me.
Okay.
And I'm talking like no accelerator, no brake, no nothing. And it's just walking up these, do you know what I mean?
Boulders.
They are very good in low range.
Yeah,
Talking
incredible.
Engine. Yeah.